Well, not quite.
Calling all local travelers.
It's time to do travel our way. Discover the wonder that lies in the most remote places. Do entertainment with style. Let us reintroduce you to the African artistic flair. Reawaken your palate for fine dining. All of this on Trends Travel every Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
Anthea was diagnosed at the age of 38 with breast cancer. At that stage, she was one of 3 who were battling cancer in her family. Anthea is now about celebrating life. She lives each day to the fullest and leaves room for no regrets. She shares a story of hope with producer Wandile Mufugeng and inspires those around her with the words, "I have cancer, cancer doesn't have me." Let's take a listen.
Anthea, thank you so much for giving us your time and welcome to Health Talk on SABC News.
Good afternoon. It's an absolute pleasure for me to join you guys.
Could you just kindly talk to us about your journey with cancer? We now know you as a cancer survivor, but could you kindly tell us when were you diagnosed with cancer and what type of cancer was it?
So I am a breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed towards the end of 2010. It was not an easy diagnosis. At the time of my diagnosis, we were 3 in the family that was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was the youngest out of the lot.
Now that you were diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2010, how difficult or easy was it for you to accept the diagnosis?
Initially, when I was diagnosed, I was journeying with my aunt a year prior to my diagnosis, and I used to go with her to hospital, and many times I would tell the family, I don't think I'm bringing her home today. So in a way, that has prepared me for my journey. But it's definitely not the same. We can be 2 or 3 females diagnosed with breast cancer, but each one's journey is different. Each one's support system is different, as well as each one's treatment plan.
Speaking of treatment plans, could you just kindly elaborate or tell us more as to what form of treatment did you undergo in order to survive cancer?
I had a lumpectomy where they removed the cancerous lump. And then I've also had chemotherapy. And I want to tell you, chemotherapy, it's hectic. It's hectic when that fluid is running through your veins. It's like a coldness that comes over you. It makes you very sick. And I had to hear once asking doctors, and they said, we first have to kill all the healthy cells as well as the unhealthy cells in order to make you better. So it first makes you very sick. But at the end result, it makes you better.
How did cancer generally impact your day-to-day living, or rather impact your life?
It impacts a person on various levels. So for me, it was not just the physical part, it was also the emotional part, going through cancer and you going through the treatment, you're going to hospital and you feel all alone. And then obviously not being able to work, not being able to afford your rent, and then ending up in a shelter. So it is really a disease that can affect the person on all levels.
In your situation, can you say you are on remission or the cancer is undetected? What's the difference there? Take us through your personal experience with it.
So luckily for me, I am in remission where there is no traces of the cancer. So I'm going on with life as per normal, where if someone, if there is still traces of cancer, it just means that they're not in remission and they still needing to go for treatments and things like that. So I'm in remission.
Now, lastly, just your words of encouragement to someone who is battling any type of cancer What would as a survivor, what would your words of encouragement be to such a person?
If you have heard the words, "you have cancer," I want to tell you today that